Cops, criminals, commandos. Cops, they serve and protect. Criminals, try to earn their respect. Commandos, strike when opposition is a threat to our seas. Govern the country against foreign enemies. First episode was the cop and the criminal. Now we got commandos like 5-star generals. Come to share their war stories from the streets to the pen, all the way to overseas. Band of brothers on 3 separate paths. Bring them all together, now we got a podcast.
All right, back in your life. Episode number 21.
21.
I'm here with Jason.
Hello.
TikTok superstar. He's TikTok superstar, man. At least I think he is. I mean, 260,000 followers. Jesus, dude. How long did it take you to get there?
Well, I say 8 months because I started in January, but really less than that because I didn't really pick up hardly any followers the first 3 months, and I just kept plugging away, and then finally it, just caught.
Yeah.
So I'd say maybe 5 months.
Did you have a plan for it to be successful, or did it just happen? Did it surprise you? Did it catch you off guard whenever you started to pop?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew I wanted to be successful at it. I had a plan when I started posting videos, but, as far as what it was going to be, how big it could get.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan to be successful for myself. I had a plan to be successful in spreading a message is what I really started out to do.
So you had a mission the whole time. You wanted to help people and give advice to people. That was your mission.
100%. Absolutely.
Because it hit so I started following you before I knew you were from Oklahoma. And the video that just made me, I watched it 20 times, was a video about this taco chain story, which we downloaded. We talked about this earlier. So I want to show you guys this video, my favorite video he's done. Okay, so here it is. Check it out.
There's this taco chain that we have here in the town I live in. Boy, I used to love their food. I went there all the time, probably for about 7 years. But then they started getting sloppy. They was always messing my order up. I liked onions. They'd leave onions off most of the time. Or they'd leave a burrito out of the bag. Just got to be where it was always something. Well, I tell you, I loved their food. But they just couldn't get their act together. After about 7 years of this, I realized they're just not going to be able to keep me happy. They were never going to get their act together. And no matter how much I loved their food, I just couldn't tolerate it. So I quit them. I got other taco joints I go to now. You know what? Their food's pretty damn good, too. It's been about 20 years since I've been to that original taco joint. To be honest, I couldn't even tell you what their food tastes like anymore. And they could offer me half off and tell me they got their act together now, but I'll never eat there again. Hope you make the right choice. Good day.
Okay, so that video was my favorite video because just the way you put it together and described it, it literally, so the guy was asking you for advice, which you just saw. The girl was asking advice whether she should get back with her boyfriend that had been treating her wrong and cheating on her and stuff like that, right? And the way you described it with the taco chain, there was no question of what that girl should do. Right? So there's no question that this girl should definitely break up with the guy. And then you were just sly about it. Then you winked at the camera and said, have a good day. Hope you make the right choice.
I got to tell you, I thought about that for a day. The question came in, and I was like, well, this is a no-brainer, but she already knows the answer. She would want somebody to tell her. But if I just say, yep, leave him, don't forget about him. Yeah, she needed something that was going to make her go, yeah, he's right. It couldn't just be a straightforward answer for her. I didn't feel like. So I took a day to think about it.
You're right. You're right, because you knew what you wanted to tell her right away. You just needed to put it in a way that made her understand it properly, that there was no question. And you damn sure did that.
So any of these people that ever ask you questions and want you to answer these questions, do you ever hear back from them?
I do get updates from some people. I'm like a month behind now on direct messages trying to respond to people. I just, there's not enough hours in the day to try to answer everybody's questions. But oftentimes I'll see a comment even, hey, just an update, this is what
happened. This is what you told me. I did it. And yeah, it worked out great. Or, you know, exactly what you said was going to happen is what happened. And we're not together anymore.
That's got to be so rewarding, man, that to know that you're actually helping. And most of these people are probably pretty young, right?
You know, you would think, but I mean, I got them anywhere from 14 years old up to 70 years old that are really looking to me for some direction.
Yeah.
It's crazy the range in ages, and females and males.
I wonder what that is. I wonder if it's because people just, maybe they don't have people in their lives that don't give a shit or something. And then so, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of questions I want to ask you too, though, you know, but I have friends and stuff like that, but you're just so good at giving advice, man. You're so good at it. Like where do you think that comes from? Your parents?
I had great parents. I'll take nothing away from them. They were not as open with me growing up as I am with my son. We didn't really talk like I talked to my son. But I mean, they were great parents and wanted the best for me and spoiled me rotten, really. But no, I think I've made a tremendous number of mistakes in my life. I've made some really poor choices, and I've been a good friend to people. So people have always talked to me about their issues, and watching other people and their lives develop and what works and what doesn't, and what's worked for me in my life. And, you know, I've repeated the mistakes, you know, more than once in several occasions. So,
Same.
You know, you just learn. I mean, with age and experience, you learn what works and what doesn't in most cases. It's not 100%, but as a general rule, you know.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy because it's the same way with being a cop, right?
Right.
Like, you didn't want the cop that was the goody two shoes that had never tried a drug, that had never drank alcohol, that was just this goody two shoes his whole life, and then he just threw on a badge and a gun. Like, he probably wasn't going to be the best cop in the world. You know? The best cop were the shitheads.
Right.
Like me, there wasn't much that you were going to get by me, but it wasn't because I was smart or intelligent or anything else like that. I was just street smart because I'd been there.
Right.
There wasn't much you were going to get by me, but it's because I was a shithead. I want my advice from somebody that's made a ton of mistakes, because that's what it is, right? That's history in general, isn't it?
Right.
History in general. That's what it's meant to be. Why would you record history? I mean, it's interesting, right? But why would you record history unless you were wanting to learn from mistakes?
Exactly.
Right. And you said that people were like, you've made all these mistakes. Why do you think you're good enough to give it? It's because you've made a ton.
The number one thing that I've heard and I get haters. I mean, the following that I have, you're going to have haters.
Absolutely.
And they don't bother me at all. But the number one thing that I've heard when it comes to relationship advice is, you've been married 3 times. You have no right giving marriage advice or relationship advice. And I'm like, well, I'm perfect. I'm perfect for giving that kind of advice because I've been through it. I've been through all these different scenarios with stepkids and, you know, ex-partners or ex-husbands. And I mean, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these issues.
Yeah. Well, because you can give a detailed way of doing it because you've been there, other than you want your advice from a banker that had no hard upbringing or went through no troubles and then just went to college, got this banking job, and you ask him, well, how do I deal with this breakup? He's going to be like, just stay with her. You know? I'm busy. Don't talk to me. You know what I mean? But you give these detailed things based off of experience you've done. Dude, I love it, man. I didn't even know you were from Oklahoma. And then I messaged on there. I said, you make me proud to be in Oklahoma. Because it's true. It's true. Oklahomans get bad rep. We're kind of like Texas's toilet paper. Like, we're still kind of like the southern, you know, like the rednecks and stuff like that. But then Texas are the guys that you go to, you know. But Oklahoma doesn't really stand out a whole lot to a lot of people. But you make me proud to be an Oklahoma, dude.
Well, that's awesome.
When I very first, I'm really loud. When I very first started driving a truck, 10, 11 years ago. I forget what state I was in, somewhere like New York, Massachusetts, somewhere up there. And I literally had somebody ask me, do you guys have running water?
No way.
I swear. I mean, and he was serious. He was genuine. He was like, he just thought we were kind of back in the Western times.
Good grief, we don't live in India.
You know, I remember driving over the road back in those areas, and I'd always go in these truck stops and want fried okra, and they would look at me like I was in, what the hell's an okra?
What?
They don't know.
No shit. Or gizzards. Y'all know what gizzards are? Gross. Don't hit me with that, man. Don't give me no damn gizzards. That's gross.
But they sure know what coleslaw is. They put coleslaw on burgers and stuff up there.
Yep.
Hey, I heard this. Both y'all are truckers, but I've never been over the road. I just popped in my head. So I heard people from India that are truck drivers, they cut a hole in their seat and
Some of them.
and they shit
and the floorboard.
They shit while they're driving.
Well, I've never been in a truck with one, but I don't. Well, maybe.
Have you ever heard of that though? I've heard that.
I've heard of it.
I've never heard that. I've never.
Well, I've never heard of it in the seat, but I've heard like in the floor, they'll cut a hole and
In the floor and poop while they're going down the road. I heard it was so they could be efficient. Like they cut the hole that goes all the way outside.
well, they're never in the truck alone, right?
Why?
Like there's usually a team.
right.
There's
They
usually
usually
a
do
team.
run team.
And so they don't want to stop for the other person.
Right.
Oh man, that's terrible,
That's
dude.
bad.
I got this hilarious. I think it's hilarious truck driving story of an old truck driver. And my show or what I do on TikTok is really wholesome. So this is kind of getting out there a little bit for me. But this old truck driver I'm talking to, he's like, I was in my early 20s and he was early 60s maybe. And I worked with him and I was like, man, you know, sometimes I just can't make it all the way. I got to pull over, you know, and then take a leak. He's like, oh, I just hang mine over my leg and just pee right down there by where the gear shifter is. It seeps out. And I'm like, you hang it over. I mean, golly, why don't you, if it were me, I'd probably just hang it out the window.
This one, I'll tell a story too. Which this isn't. We're not getting too dirty, but so I used to haul oil when I used to drive a truck. I've just never done over the road. It's always been local, been home every night.
Right.
I used to haul oil, and I couldn't stop throughout the day, or I wouldn't be able to make it home at the end of the night. I have to stay out there, you know, because you're 14 hours or whatever. And I would pee in a gallon jug as I was going down the road. And this one time, and I would have to kind of stand up to pee. And I was standing up and I was peeing in this gallon jug one time. And I'm driving and I look at my rearview mirror and I see cop lights.
Oh my God.
And I'm standing up. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, crap. I'm like putting it down and stuff like that. And I'm like, got pee running down my leg because I had to put it up. And this cop just zoomed around me, went by me, and I was like, oh, thank God, dude. But I thought I was getting.
Now you have peed on your
pulled
leg
over.
for no reason.
Yeah, now you're wet.
Yeah, dude, I was mortified. What do you say to that? You know, it'd be like, and this was in Texas too. Texas does not play with their laws, dude. So I thought I'm going to jail for indecent exposure. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you could do that.
Well, and I also didn't have an overweight permit, you know.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, dude, there's so many stories I have of the truck driving stuff, but it is fun. So you're still doing that for a living, right?
About 50, 55 hours a week.
Yeah.
But I'm home every night too. I mean, I go to work at 4 a.m. and work till I get done every day, Monday through Friday.
What time do you go to bed?
It varies. I mean, I like to get in bed by 9 or 9:30, but sometimes it's 11.
That's late for
11:30.
me, dude. Wow, really?
Sometimes.
Because you're trying to keep up with your fans, right?
I'm trying to answer these people's questions. I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's people sitting out there in my DMs that sent a message 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they're like, "He doesn't care about me." I do.
Yeah.
Here's the deal: when you do respond to somebody, oftentimes they don't give you all the information up front. They'll give you and so you got to get a little more information. So sometimes I can be dealing with 5 people situations, and I'll ask them questions so I can give them, a real answer. And so it turns into a dialogue that could last a week or so. I don't want to move on to another person until I help them get something resolved, because then I got 10 or 15 conversations going, and I can't really help 15 people all at the same time.
Yeah.
I lose track of what's going on in each person's life. And so I give them my dedicated attention until I feel like we've resolve something
Yeah.
for them.
And that's why we were talking, you are thinking about starting a longer form podcast. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because you're talking about starting a longer form podcast in which the main basis of it would be, it's the same as your TikToks, but it would be, you would have more time to answer these people's questions. You'd have more time to do it. So you're thinking about setting up a voicemail line and having people call in.
Yep.
And then answering the voicemails on it, or emails, or video, or anything like that.
Right. Or, maybe even, get these voicemails or text or emails and, set up a time where I can just talk to them on the phone.
Call them. Yeah.
And we'll record the conversation so that we can try to get to the bottom of what the issue is. And hopefully we can help that person. And then everybody that's listening that may be in a similar situation, it may do something for them or their relationship as well.
Man, I love that. I love that idea, and it'll give you longer than a minute, and then you'll also have an opportunity to help more people. If you're doing a show a week and it's an hour long, you'll have an hour to help more people out. I love the idea, man. I think it's going to be great. I've told you this before. I think it's going to be great. So you want to let your fans know that it's coming.
Oh, absolutely. It's coming.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I've got it. I want to make sure I've got everything in place. I don't want to start something half-assed.
Yeah, he's very particular, and he's going to make sure it's a good product before he sends it to you. So, no, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. So, yeah. So we had some questions for you. I was texting him questions all week that I wanted to ask you.
So if it doesn't matter if you've answered it before, what's your most popular question you get? Is there one that kind of sticks out?
The most popular question is, I'm going through a breakup. How do I handle this? And that question is so vague to me.
Right. So many different circumstances.
I don't know. I mean, and so when I get that question, that's where I'm talking. I got to get more information. What happened? What did you do? What did they do? I mean, I need so much information to answer that question. I mean, I can give you a blanket answer. Yeah. But
well, if you broke up with your girlfriend because she ate your ice cream, that would be different than if she slept with your best friend.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait, dude, because I remember my first love, the first time, because everybody talked about love, but you didn't know exactly what, but it's actually this really crazy feeling, especially when you're young. You get older and it just kind of seems like it dulls a little bit. Do you remember your first love?
Absolutely.
It sucks, 100%. Doesn't it?
Yeah. But I wouldn't say, in my personal opinion, it doesn't dull, but you're able to cope with it better than you are. I mean,
and I've done it so many times.
And I've done videos on that, kids that are in middle school and high school, their emotions run so high and they don't really know how to deal with, the issues that come from relationships and breakups and stuff. And there's a lot of parents that aren't in tune with their kids or what's going on. I mean, they're going out grinding every day, trying to make a living and pay the bills. And they lose track of, hey, my 15-year-old is dying inside because his girlfriend just broke up with him. You know what I mean?
Or they forget what it's like. That's the biggest thing. They forget what it's like, because I will always remember. I'll always try. I'm not a perfect parent. I don't want to say that. But if my daughter comes and tells me that she got her heart broke for the first time, I want to go back to that time where I found out my first girlfriend, my first love ever, was cheating on me.
Right.
Where I was taking a shower every 15 minutes because I was so uncomfortable. And that was my thing I liked to do when I was uncomfortable. I took a shower.
Right.
And I was taking I was crushed, man. I did not see a way out of that. I didn't want to be alive. I didn't want to commit suicide, but I damn sure didn't want to be alive.
Yeah.
And all I know is I wanted her back. And so you end up going back to these people, even though they screwed you over, cheated on you, and because you want the uncomfortability to stop. But then when you get back with her, that hurts too, because you know what she did.
Right.
So there's no way to get comfortable.
Right.
And that's what I want to be for my kids. I want to remember that, so I'll know how to handle it better.
In most cases. I mean, and that's something I've talked about in my videos too. I mean, there are some people that their spouse cheats on them. They split, they get back together. I'm not saying it, and it always goes away or ever goes away. It's always going to be there. It's something that they did to them. But some people are able to remove that far enough away that they can live a happy marriage. I mean, somebody that cheats 2 or 3 times, on the same person, might as well just forget it.
Twice
twice
anything over once.
Yeah, twice. I mean, you might as well. But
yeah,
there are people that, mistakes happen, and people say,
Yes.
well, it was a choice. Well, yeah, it was a choice. It was a bad choice. They did it. But if they are proving themselves on a daily for you, and they are not putting themselves in positions to allow that to happen again, then I know I've seen people that it's happened for.
But you have to be, if you're the person being cheated on and you're going to give that person a chance,
right?
You have to be willing eventually to let it go.
Absolutely. You can't be bringing it up all the time. I mean, if you do, pointless. It's just a fight all the time.
Yeah, it's pointless, right? Because in reality, if you're the one bitching at them for cheating on you, but you're still with them, that's your fault. That's your problem.
Don't be with the person if you can't be with them.
Right.
You'd made the decision to get back with them. You need to be quiet about it.
And that goes beyond cheating. I mean, if anything negative in the relationship happens, as long as it's not repetitive, one person made a mistake, you deal with it and then move on. You can't live in it.
And I'm not trying to say it has to be immediate, right? If you're going to give that person a chance,
right.
it'll take some time.
Absolutely.
But eventually you have to let that go. So
yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I've dealt with. I don't know if you've dealt with, but I've dealt with jealousy before, where I was like a jealous boyfriend before. But for some reason, with my wife now, not even a little bit. And I think it's just, and she's not jealous with me at all. And I think it's just this subconscious thing that because I do have pure intentions in my heart, I do not give her any vibes that I will ever cheat on her, which I won't, man. Which I obviously think other women are attractive, but there is not a single woman on this planet that can get me to cheat on her because of how much I love her. And I feel the same way about her.
I'm with you 100%. I mean, I've dealt with that too. I mean, I've been very jealous.
Yes.
Even with the woman that I'm with now. I mean, there was times early on that, it consumed me because we had a long distance relationship and I didn't know where she was or what she was doing. And I think she's even the one that she wasn't directing it at me. She just made the comment in front of me that you can't, it'll ruin your life to just be worried all the time. If something happens, that shouldn't, it's going to come out.
Yeah.
And it resonated with me. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to waste all day worrying. What she's doing. I know she loves me. I know she's going to be with me. So,
yeah,
until she's not, then she is. So
yeah,
I'm just not going to worry about it. And my life has so much better not worrying about what's going to happen. If it's going to happen, it is.
Yes. No, it's so rewarding too. Like I don't know. Like I said, I thank God every night before I go to bed. I roll over and I thank God for it. But it's genuine. It's genuine in my heart. Like I've never experienced. I didn't grow up really in a loving home. Like it wasn't like I didn't have the worst upbringing ever, but I don't remember us telling each other we loved each other a lot and giving each other hugs and stuff like that. But so I can experience that type of love for my kids and my family now, it's a gift. It's a gift. But if you're worrying all the time, you're not going to get to experience that.
That's right.
But the other person has to do stuff to make you feel comfortable too, right? Like, there's only so much they can do, but they can't be going out to clubs till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and then expect you to not be worried a little bit,
Yeah, and people will say, well, you just have to give them open trust. I don't care if they don't come home till 5 o'clock in the morning. There's no questions asked. Well,
No.
That's not normal, okay?
No.
You cannot say, well, I'll let my husband or wife, if they want to go out and party with their friends and go to the bar, and when the bar closes at 2, I don't hear from them, and then they come rolling in at 5 or 6, that's fine. I don't care. No, that's not normal.
No, it sure isn't. And I just don't think you've got anything positive going on past that time, especially like me personally, there's nothing that I need to do that my wife can't be there for.
Right.
Nothing, unless we decide to go out and go golfing or something like that, there's nothing that she can't be there for, but sometimes I want her with me everywhere because
right.
I have fun, but sometimes she tells me to go F myself because she wants to stay here, you
Right,
know, and chill
right.
on the couch, you know. And so that's fine, you know. But and I know that doesn't have to be everybody's relationship's different. If you do, I mean, if she wanted to go out to the club, I'd be like, okay. You know, I wouldn't care, but if she's staying out, which she never would, though. I don't even know why I'm saying it, though. She just wouldn't, you know, but.
Well, with me and mine living, you know, we're living long distance, and we've done that, not just right now, but we've done it a lot.
Oh,
you
you
know,
guys
over the
live long
years.
distance right now?
Yeah, she lives in 2 hours north of me.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, even when she lived here, if she wanted to go hang out with the girls or whatever, if go to lunch or go shopping or what, I mean, absolutely. I don't think one time ever when we lived together did she's like, I'm going to have a girls' night and just go to the bar without you. Ever. Not one time.
Yeah.
But when she's living 2 hours away, she's got 50 friends up there. Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm going to go have a couple of drinks at whatever place. Okay. I mean,
Of course, yeah.
I trust you to do that, but she's not staying out till 5 o'clock in the morning either.
Right, no.
And even if she did, I mean, I wouldn't know because, I mean, it used to be she would call me when she got home, you know, hey, I made it home. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, look, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, don't call me.
I'll talk to you in the morning, okay?
Yeah. Well, there's just an inherent trust there.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, that's crazy. So I have a tough question for you that I don't know if you'll be able to have the answer for, because I don't know if anybody does. What do you think love is? Is it a feeling? Is it a state of mind? Is it something that you can force to do?
I don't think you can force love, genuine love.
Yeah.
And I really don't believe that love is a feeling. And I've done TikTok videos on this. In my opinion, if you love somebody, you love that person for who they are as an individual, as a person. It has nothing to do with you. It's who that person is. So if you love them, you want them to have a happy, successful life, regardless of whether you're involved in it or not. Now, if they choose to love you back and you get to be involved in their life, that's fantastic because you love them. But if it turns out that, you know what, they can't be with you or they don't love you back or, you know, whatever the situation is, if you still, after that, are like, it sucks because I want to be with you, but I still love you and I want, whatever you do, I want you to be happy because I love you. That to me is love. Now you can be in love with somebody like, you know, the way they make you feel good, or they
have a nice ass.
Yeah. You can be in love with somebody, but to genuinely love somebody, it has to be that you want the best for them, regardless of what it does for you.
And that's the thing that I was thinking too, because I'm just now experiencing this feeling for the first time, because I have been infatuated with women before, where I have felt this nasty tugging feeling in your chest where you're like, oh, I can't be without this chick, you know?
Right.
Well, my wife was my nanny before, right? Well, I say nanny, but she was literally my nanny.
She was your babysitter.
Yeah, I was.
How much younger is she?
She's 7 years older than I am. So she's
She
4.
got you a cougar.
She's buddy. I posted on Facebook the other day. There was this picture of a woman crossing the street, and there was a cougar crossing sign up there. And I shared it and tagged her in it. Said, I'm going to put one of these out up by the house. But like, so with her though, like in the beginning, she tried. So when she helped me move up here, whenever it was just me and the girls moving up here by ourselves, and the night she helped me move up here, she tried to kiss me, and I shot her down. I said no, and I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't physically attracted to her at the time, but I just wasn't into her at the time. And I was making myself take a break from women. I took like a year-long break. Well, we just we were like friends, you know, with benefits. But anyway, we were friends after a while. I shot her down to kiss me, and then she was persistent and then got me to kiss her like a couple months later. But
Oh, I thought you were going to say like later that night.
No, that'd have been funny and been like, I shot her down, but literally 30 minutes later we did the dirty. But no, so she kept, you know, and then eventually it was like, I don't know, a year later, a couple years later, after we kept doing our thing, and like I had never dated another girl in that time, and then she had dated a couple other people, but I don't know. I could tell she was in love with me, and then I could tell that this was the girl that God probably meant for me to be together with, because we were perfect. We never fought. We never argued. We did everything together. We were a great team, but I didn't have that tugging feeling in my chest that I had with the other females. So I thought that this was wrong because I didn't have the same feeling that I had with the other girls. And then I said, wait a second, all those other relationships sucked. And I said, so maybe I said, you know what? She told me she was in love with me. And I said, I love you too. Let's try it. You know, because I did love her, but it was just different. So I tried it with her, and I'm literally the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And I would die for that woman now. Like, I mean, everything that you can say that's a good, positive relationship we have. And he could probably testify that. He's a
super solid relationship.
He's around us all the time. But it was because I went against what society probably says are good relationships, or the feeling you're supposed to have.
Right.
So that's the advice I would give to people about love is, if you're getting in a bunch of failed relationships, do something different. If there's someone in front of you right now that's the oddball, that you think that you're not attracted, or it's not that you're not attracted to him, but there's someone there
physically, right? I mean, you're attracted to them physically, but maybe not who you've always gone after.
But it seems like it's a good match. There's no reason why you shouldn't try it, because love isn't a feeling.
Right.
Right? It's not. If you feel that tugging in your chest, that might not mean that you guys are soulmates.
Right.
That might mean that you're infatuated with them for toxic reasons. So.
And you will have hundreds of thousands of people argue with us on that. They'll say, "Oh no, it's absolutely a feeling." I mean, millions probably.
And that's fine.
Would argue. Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's where apparently both of our opinions lie. It's just not a feeling.
No, it's not.
Feelings are genuine and they mean something.
They're attached to it.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Your strong pull that you have for somebody, that making you feel like you do love them, is real, 100% real, and it's there, but it is not authentic love.
But would you actually die for that person? Would you actually?
Or are you secretly wishing they would die because they keep talking to other,
If that person was in a horrible accident and was in a wheelchair and needed you to wipe their ass on the daily, would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still care for them and love for them, or
still feel like you need them in your life?
Yeah. Or would it become, you know what?
Sorry, Angela, I'm not wiping your ass. I will pay someone to do it. I will still be with you, but I am not wiping your ass. No, I will not wipe your ass. Actually, I don't know. She's got a nice butt. No, I don't know.
I just had this situation last weekend.
What?
We were working out.
Oh, okay. I know what he said. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
We were at the gym working out, hurt my back. And wasn't terrible at the time. I was still walking around, getting around, and I had to go use the restroom. And I bent over to wipe my ass, try to reach back, wipe my ass, and it just grabbed and caught me. And the only thing I could do was
his back.
Yeah.
Right. I got it.
My back cramped up, and I couldn't move. And the only thing I could do was fall over. So I'm laying on the floor, and I'm thinking, how do I need to get up. I need to pull my pants up before I need to get somebody in here to do it for me. But and Zach's the only person there at the time, and I'm like, oh, this is not the place I want to be right now.
Angela was running. She runs, and so she was running on her way back to the gym, and I definitely would have volunteered her for that.
But you weren't going to go in there and take
Hell
care of it.
no, dude. I'd be like, just wear those pants. We'll throw them away or wash them later. We are not wiping your ass. Well, no, then he's not getting in my car.
It's clear he does not love you.
There's no doubt about that. FYI, I was able to clean myself up and get in the car by myself.
I can love all of you, but I'm not wiping your ass. I'm not wiping my daughter's asses. They're big enough. They better figure that shit out. I'm not wiping nobody's ass, man. Yeah. So what other questions did I have for him?
All right, I'm going to create a scenario because I'm 31. I would answer this question, just it doesn't bother me. Creating a scenario. 22-year-old guy messaged you, talking to this new girl, really into her, want her to like me, but I have kind of a history. She wants to know how many people I've been with in my past. What do you think I should tell her?
The thing I say, if that question's ever asked to me, is you're the only one that counts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just that simple, huh? Just tell them that.
I don't believe in divulging body count because there's no good comes from that.
Nope.
It's irrelevant. It's in the history. What you and I are doing is between us.
Yeah.
And I don't care how many people you've been with. I don't want to know. And whatever you did before me, as long as you're straight with me now, and it's you and me, then I don't really care.
Yeah. I've always just said I don't know.
Because it's probably the correct answer.
Well, I don't know, but
Well, see, but when you say I don't know, you're telling her it is a huge number that I can't keep track of all of them, and it puts it in their mind. God, he's probably been with hundreds or thousands, and who knows?
No,
but if you come back with you're the only one that counts, they have no idea. It could be 3 or 500.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't think about that. I would actually agree with that. That's the right, that's the right thing to do, is just be like, hey, listen, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know how many guys you've been with, and I don't want you to know how many girls I've been with.
I mean, let's be real. When I was younger and probably a little immature, that was a question that I asked too when I was younger.
Yeah.
And now literally is not something I even think about.
Right.
Not anything. I don't even care about it.
Yeah, if you tell me yours without me, unsolicited, you tell me your number and I'm in a relationship, that's going to be a red flag for me that maybe you're being dramatic or something. Like you're, know.
Unless they say, you're only the third guy I've ever been with, and they're 22. I mean.
Well, and if you're a virgin, that might be something that needs to be said.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I would say 0.
Yeah.
Proudly.
If you're a virgin, that's something like, for me, example, if I was still in the game, the dating game, if you're a virgin, tell me, because if we're just going to sleep together and have a casual one night stand, I don't want a stage 5 clinger on my hands. You know what I mean?
And even if you do want a relationship with that person and they are a virgin, I mean, your sexual interaction is going to be a lot different than somebody that you feel like has experience.
Yep, you're not going to be swinging from the ceiling fans and stuff day one. It's going to be
important.
It's going to be a little different. It's not going to be as fun as you were with your 40-year-old wife that's been in the business for a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's nuts, man.
Is there anything that you want to tell your fans? Anything that you want to that you want people to know about you, or
that they don't get to see in your 1 minute clips? Something that you'd like them to know about them.
I didn't prepare anything, but off the top of my head, the support that I have received for putting my message out there, and the feedback that I do get from the people that I've helped, it means the world to me, that I know, that every time I get a message that says I've helped them through whatever process or whatever situation, it justifies what I'm doing, makes me feel better, about what I'm doing. I really hope that this podcast idea that I'm trying to get off the ground with you guys' help is going to be beneficial for thousands or tens of thousands of people. I mean, I'm not a psychologist or have any kind of degree, but I certainly have the experience, and I think I believe that I can help a lot of people. So I really look forward to really getting into it and having, like you said, more than that 1 minute.
I do too. I look forward to it, and I can already answer that question. It is going to be a massive help to people. So everybody needs to stay tuned and keep listening, because we're going to be making more announcements. Jason's going to be making more announcements about the upcoming. It's coming together, and he's putting in a lot of hard work to get it going. So stay tuned. Make sure you keep your ears on and keep listening, because he's going to be making some more announcements, and he's going to be telling you where you can ask your questions, your video questions and all that stuff. That way you can get your questions in, and he's going to do everything he can to answer them. So thanks for coming in, Jason.
I appreciate you guys having me in.
All right. I'll be seeing you soon, buddy. All right. Take care, and we are 10-7 till next week.
Cops, criminals, commandos. Cops, they serve and protect. Criminals, try to earn their respect. Commando, strike when opposition is a threat to our seas. Govern the country against foreign enemies. First episode was the cop and the criminal. Now we got commandos like 5-star generals. Come to share their war stories from the streets to the pen, all the way to overseas. Band of brothers on 3 separate paths. Bring them all together, now we got a podcast.